Now, if you've ever done Facebook or Instagram ads, setting up your audience and who you're targeting isn't always the easiest thing to do. There's a lot of options, and knowing the best options to get you the best results can be a little overwhelming. In this video, I'm going to outline both some simple and more advanced tactics you can take to improve the targeting for your ad campaigns so that you get the best results and don't overspend for those results, meaning we're going to save you some money and save you some time. So let's get into it right now. Hey, if you're new here, my name is Lowell Brown. I'm from Going Social. I run a digital marketing agency in Toronto, and I work with a lot of realtors, helping them with their digital marketing strategies. And one of the things that I focus on a lot is Facebook and Instagram ads. Now, I get it. Setting up those ad campaigns isn't always so simple. There's a lot of features, there's a lot of options, there's a lot of customizations that can go into creating the perfect Facebook or Instagram advertising campaign. So in this video, we're going to clear some of that up, specifically focusing on those audience targeting settings. Now, I'm going to show you some of the simple, basic stuff. I'm going to go into some more advanced strategies like remarketing. How do you advertise to an audience that you've already engaged with or that already knows you? Now, these are some of those hidden gems that can make a huge difference in the success of your advertising campaigns. So I look forward to sharing those with you. But before we get into that, I have two things to share with you. The first is one of the elements of setting up your campaign involves having the Facebook pixel installed. I do want you to check out another video I've created all about how to get that pixel set up and installed on your website. You can click the link right up here to go to that video, or just stay tuned and see the link in the comment below. So the other added bonus I want to share with you is all about Facebook ads and setting up your campaigns. I'm creating a small mini course to show you the best campaigns you can set up to promote your real estate listings. If you want to get access to that video course, just leave a comment below with the words ads for realtors. You can also check out the links in the description on this video to get access to that right now. But let's get started. I'm going to show you everything that you need to know about how to target those campaigns for best results with Facebook and Instagram. Let's go right now to screen sharing mode. Okay, so we're here in Facebook Ads Manager. Now, this is a layout, an interface that you're commonly used to if you've ever created ads before. We are going to jump out of this because I want to show you where to set up your audiences. If you've done ads before, you're probably just targeting people by area, but I want to show you a couple tricks, and we're going to get into that as well. But let's first go into the audiences area. Now, on the left side of the screen, there are these little icons, and if you click on them, you'll notice that menu kind of pops out. You may or may not see the exact same items here. These are ones that I commonly hit or commonly interact with, so they show up. What we want is we want to get to audiences, okay? But if you don't see that on your screen, all you have to do is click on All Tools, which will open up this side menu. And again, you may see a shortcut at the top, but if you don't see it up here, just scroll down in this little menu and you will see it under Advertise and Audiences. So let's click into there. And then you're going to get to a screen where you're going to see any audiences that you've set up. Now, even though I have some of these set up, I'm going to demo for you how to set the exact same kinds up. If you have other ones that are here, they may or may not already be set up for you, but it's a good idea just to make sure the settings are correct, because sometimes you may have set a certain audience up and things change in terms of the targeting and the way you can do things or the time length. We're going to get into that right now. So let's just consider we're starting from scratch, okay? What you're going to do is you're going to go up here to create an audience and you're going to click on that button. Then it's going to ask you, there's a pop down here. Do you want a lookalike audience or do you want custom audiences? Now we're going to jump out here for a second because I do want to explain something that's really important. Because you are a realtor, you're creating Facebook ads on the platform. If you're doing it properly, you know that you have to click one of those special interest categories, and that is being housing. Now, when you do that, Facebook does limit your ability to target in certain ways. So that also affects what we can do with these audience setup features. One of the things that people commonly rely on are things called a lookalike audience. Because we're in that housing designation, if you are doing any sort of an ad related to promoting properties, you cannot use those. If, however, you are doing an ad that's related to, a video that you have showing a community event, something like that, you probably can still get away with using those audiences. But for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to focus on the other types of audiences so we can get that set up. But I did want to bring your attention to this, and I did want to make sure you knew that when you're creating these ads, you do want to select that special interest audience. If you don't do that, you taking a chance that your ad account could get shut down. Facebook is pretty strict about this stuff. Okay, so when you create the audience, when you go to press this create audience, a drop down appears. Again, we're not going to get into the lookalike audiences because we can't leverage that in this case because we are a special interest audience. But if you click on custom audience, now we've got a lot of features here, and I'm going to go step by step. I'm going to show you the ones that are the most important and how to set up the features for each of these. So let's start with the easiest one. Now this is your website. Now again, when you're setting up this website traffic audience, one of the things it's working off of is knowing that somebody leaves from the Facebook ad and goes to your website. And the way that Facebook tracks that is because the Facebook pixel needs to be installed on your website. And that's how they're able to track someone's activity going from the ad to your website. Now, there's a lot of things that go into setting up the pixel or tracking the activity from your ads to your website. And I did create a separate video. I'm not going to cover it here, but I did want you to click on the link right here. You can go and watch that video about setting up the Facebook pixel, setting up the ability for Facebook to track activity on the domain of your website. But let's get back over to screen sharing mode and get into the rest of the setup for this audience. So again, assuming you have the pixel set up, we're going to select website here and then just click next. What we're going to get now is another pop-up, and here is where again it's asking for the source. So it's asking for you to select the right pixel. Again, if you have more than one, which you shouldn't, but if you do, then just make sure that your pixel is set up correctly there. And then on the drop down for events, you've got a number of options here, and this you can customize if you want to. Most of the time I leave it to all website visitors. What you could do is if you wanted to create a specialized audience for people that are only going to one part of your website, let's say a certain type of listing. If you let's say focus on cottages and homes, and you wanted to only target people that are interested in cottages, well, you could add those specific URLs for any pages that you have going to specific listings on your website. You could also use this if you wanted to. Again, I'm just going to show you here. So retention is basically how long do you want to go back? So if people were going to the website, the maximum you can go is 188 days. But am I looking at the traffic only within the last 30 days? Meaning that I'm looking for people who visited my website within the last 30 days, or do I want to take a longer timeline for that? Sometimes I will do a shorter timeline, but I usually go with as long as we can. I want to get the biggest audience possible, so I will take a longer look at that. And then again, you could type in those specific URLs, and you could say it's equal to, or it contains, or anything that doesn't contain. So you can customize how you're targeting people based on certain pages of your website or sections of your website. That's if you wanted to target only specific pages. If you wanted to, you could also target by time spent. I don't really do this that often. I'm more interested in people who are on my website. So I will select this, all website visitors, retention 180 days. Now you may have also seen that I've got these events set up. Again, I'm not going to cover how to set these up in this video, but this has to do with the pixel and has to do with some of those other metrics you can set up to be able to track things. You can track things like, again, people going to specific pages of your website, or if you're tracking, let's say, a lead. So someone who has gone to your website, completed a contact form and gone to a thank you page, and you've designated that as a lead in terms of a metric category, a conversion category. You can set these up. So I have a number of these set up from different things that I've done on my own campaigns or my own website. For example, I have this as an Instagram lead magnet. I did for realtors, I did Instagram marketing tips, which if you want to get access to that, comment below and you can find a link there as well in the description. But I was able to capture how many people went from my ad to this page and selected to download this PDF guide. So I could use this to retarget to that audience in the future with an ad. We're going to go into that in a little bit detail here soon. So let's just set this up. We've got, again, you select your pixel, all website visitors, the amount of time you want, and then just give this a name. Now, when you give it a name, so I'm just going to write it as GS as in my actual company name, website visitors. And then I also usually do add the time limit, that retention period, just because if I want to look back at this audience later, or if I happen to set up one that's 30 days, one that's 90 days, and one that's 180 days, I want to be able to know which audience it is when I'm selecting it. And you'll see that in a second as well. So you just go and you create that audience and you're good to go. Now here right away, it's giving you a pop-up. You could create a lookalike audience, which again, doesn't hurt to do it. You may or may not be able to use it for certain ad types, but you can create that lookalike audience. You can create an ad right away, or you can just click done. So I just want to jump in with another audience here for you. And then we're going to, what we're going to do is we're going to show you some more audiences, and then we're going to go into creating a campaign, and I'll show you how to select the audiences there as well. So let's click on another custom audience. Some of these you won't be using. So app activity, you don't have an app, you're not an app developer, you're not promoting a game or anything, so you're probably not going to use this. Catalog, you may or may not use. I have worked with some realtors who will have all of their MLS listings set up and installed based on a feed of a catalog, or manually setting up their listings as almost like a database. So you could create an audience that way as well by just selecting the catalog and then clicking next. You'd have to then choose that catalog. I don't have any set up. This is from another client. So if you did have one set up, then you would just select what the category was. This was from a client that was a chocolate company. So they had different products there. And then we can, select or create the audience based on people interacting with or interested in only those products. Now, this is a handy one, customer list. Now, what you can do with this is your database of email addresses, and hopefully you do have a email list that you can work with. You can take all of those email contacts. All you need is 3 fields that are most important for Facebook advertising. You need the name, you need email address, and phone number. When you upload this list, you can upload it as Excel, or I think a CSV file is the best to use. When you upload it, what Facebook is going to do is they're going to try to match the information you upload with people who have registered Facebook accounts using that information. So someone who's either created their Facebook account and is using the same email address, or if they've added a phone number and that phone number happens to be on their profile as well, they can target with that. Keep in mind that this works best when you have a bigger list. By big list, I'm talking about 1,000 contacts or more, because what's going to happen is the majority of those contacts are not going to be potential Facebook users. So that list might get really small. You might only find 10% of that list, of that 1,000 list as an audience. So generally, there's no harm setting it up, but you want to be able to have a big enough audience to work with here. So hopefully if you've got a bigger email contact list, this is the ideal way to go. You select that customer list, and then you're going to, again, see these easy access. So if you're using something like MailChimp, you can automatically update or select your list to be updated. You can also create a text or CSV file template. So you can download that template, follow the setup of it in order to create your own. But generally what you're going to be doing is you are just going to come over. It's just telling you what things you can basically match: first name, last name, things like that. So just click next when you're here. And then here it's going to ask you if you've got a customer value. This isn't really as it's not as important for you. Someone who, let's say, is an e-commerce type business, they might value or put like a sales, how much sales have this person bought in the past. So that's where a value might come in. You likely won't have that unless you're tracking your sales of people, but even then it doesn't really make a difference for real estate. So just click next. And then here it would ask you, hey, can you select a file and upload it? So you would select to update a list or upload, you would select to upload a file, find that file on your computer. Then what it's going to do is open up a screen and ask you to match the field. So if you've got a column for first name, it wants you to match that up so that it's importing the right field with the right data. Very simple to follow that. And again, just under here, you would select, name your audience as in customer list. And then maybe do the date you uploaded it so you remember how frequent this is, or how new this list is. And then you would click next and it would import it and set it up. If there's any issues, it would tell you about it. But that's it. That's all you have to do in terms of setting up this type of a audience. Offline activity, we don't need to get into that. Now these ones are some of these are really good to set up as well. So this one here, again, Instagram account. So with this, what you're able to do is basically find or target people who have either visited, interacted with your profile, who have interacted with ads on your account. So anyone that's following you, anyone that's checked out your profile, anyone that's clicked on any of your posts, they're going to be targeted. So this can be a really, really valuable audience to create. Again, it's just looking for the accounts that I have set up here. So it's going to ask you to select the Instagram account. There we go. So it's going to say the source. So if you have more than one Instagram account here, you can select which one you want to use. And then again, there's a lot of customization you can get to here in terms of, do you want to target anyone who's engaged with your profile, anyone who's visited your profile, just who visited your profile, anyone who sent you a message. I would stick with this one in terms of engaged. It's the broadest of all of them. So just stick with that. And again, retention, we went over this, how long. The maximum is 365 days. So I would go with that. And again, all you have to do is select Instagram audience and name it with the timeline. And you click create. And we've got that audience created. Again, we could do the lookalike and all this stuff, but we're done. Now I want to get into creating a couple other ones here. We can do the same thing that we just did for Instagram. We want to do it for our Facebook page. So again, just click Facebook page, click next, select the right page. So I've got a bunch here, so I'm just going to find the correct page. Again, you've got your choices here. So you could just do people who follow your page. I want to do more than that. So anyone who's engaged with posts, who's looked up my profile, who's engaged with my page in some way, left a comment, clicked on ads. So I want to hit as wide of an audience as I can, but there are other options. You can read down here and it tells you below what it will include or doesn't include. And then again, just name it. And we've got that audience. So again, this process doesn't take that long, but it's generally just a good idea to get these set up. And again, you do have to have these audiences set up before you create your ad campaign. You can't kind of do this while you're creating your campaigns. So I've had some clients who have used events to promote certain things they're doing, whether it's a community event, a fundraiser, an open house, some other type of event that they're doing. If they create an event on Facebook or with an ad to promote that, then this is why this category type is there. So if you don't do any events at all, you don't need to set this audience up. But if you have done events, if you've done, let's say, I have a client right now, we just did open house ones and created an event, was promoting it with ads for about a week. You could use this as a marketing, anyone who engaged with that event, we can then throw another ad to for the next listing or a future listing. So these are some of those tricks of how can you use these audiences to create ads of people who have engaged in those and really low cost value. Let's go back to screen sharing mode now. So again, select events. And then when you get here, you've got these options, people who responded to, going to, or interested in, people who are just going or just interested, or visited the page, people who have engaged in any way, like, share, commented on any of the events on your page. So there's a number of options here. And I'm actually going to, so this is people who responded, but I always like the engaged because it tends to be a more of, a broader audience. Just make sure you're selecting the right page. And then here you would have to go in and select the actual event that you set up, one or more of them. Now, I haven't done this in a long time, so you don't have any events to use here, but this is the process you would go through. You select the segment, you select the page, you select the events that you've got. So again, if you don't have any events set up or you haven't done any, don't do this yet. You're not going to have anything to create the audience with. And then create and name the audience and save it. Now, one thing to keep in mind for these event audiences, it also has to do with video views, which we're going to get into in a minute. These are ones where you have to select specific items to target. So in this case, if it's an event, they're asking specifically which event do you want this audience set up for. If you create new events in the future, you're going to have to come back, find this audience, edit it, and include those new events. The same thing happens with video ads, which I'm going to show you next, or video audiences. So you select which videos you want to use in terms of the data collection for this audience. So if I create new videos and post them on my page or within an ad in the next, let's say, month or year, I want to, every time I create a new video, I want to remember to come back to the audiences and select to add it. Unfortunately, Facebook doesn't do this automatically. Why? Because they simply want to give you the control of being very precise with that data. So there is no setting to kind of say, hey, you know what, any future video, just pop it into this audience. You can't do that, unfortunately. So you just have to remember to periodically maintain all of this stuff within your ads account. Let's go back and finish setting some of these up, and I'll show you how to do the same thing with video audiences. So again, you would just select your event, the retention of days, name it, and select to create that audience. I did want to show you video views, which is very similar in that respect of having to select stuff. Again, now here, what you can do is the engagement gives you, again, options. So you can say, hey, anyone who's viewed 3 seconds of a video, 10 seconds of a video, a through play, which is one of the metrics that Facebook uses for ads, is called 15 seconds. So someone watching your video for 15 seconds, commonly I'll either choose this, or I might choose somebody who has watched, a certain percentage of the video. If it's a short video, I might do 100% or 95%. Like if it's a video of a minute or 30 seconds, it's pretty easy for someone to watch that. If I happen to be sharing a video that's longer, it could be, a 3 or 5 minute video. Well, not everybody's going to watch so much of that. So you will know an audience is warmer. They're more interested and more engaged in your content if they're listening longer. So if someone just sees a video, watches it for 3 seconds and then stopped watching, that's not necessarily the best audience, because they may have just been scrolling and seen the video and kept going. But if someone's engaged by the video, if you know that they're watching it, that's a good warm audience. So sometimes I do set up, a 15-second through play, and sometimes I'll set up some of these if I want to target. Now the audience will be smaller because fewer people are going to watch longer amounts of your content. Only those who really, really are engaged and they're a warm audience will watch those. But let's just do 15 views. And now you see how this comes up. Choose your videos. So this is where you have to actually specify the page. Again, you can do it by Facebook page, by Instagram. You could do it by campaign ID. So if you did a video ad, you could target the campaign or the videos that were used in that campaign, and then a video ID. So there's a specific video ID number in the URL of any videos you've created. So I'm going to do Facebook page, and then again, make sure you select the correct page, and then it's going to pull up all of the videos that you've created. So here you see I have a number of them. These ones are really short, don't have a ton of viewers. But again, you can see how you have to go through and manually select all of the people who have, watched these videos. So if I create another video after this, and again, look up here because there's more than one page. So sometimes people will say, oh, I'm going to stop right here and that's it. That's all I can see. You could either select by dates or you can just keep scrolling. And this won't show once you've reached the limit. So you can see that I've got some other videos that are going back, and you just keep going through this process of selecting more of those. Again, there unfortunately isn't a little button that says select all, so you kind of have to go through this manually, but I'm just going to go with, videos I've created in the last year or two. So just for this purpose, I'll stop here. So you've selected those videos. Now, the other trick here is you can do Instagram and Facebook either at the same time or at different times. So I'm just going to show you how you can go into Instagram, and this is all saved again. So then again, I want to select my account. It's going to pull up those videos. And again, now I can target these as well. So I'm just going to quickly select these. I'm not going to go into the, actually I will. And then again, same thing, you would just go and click confirm. And now you see that you've got all of your videos selected, and you can just verify everything's there. Video views, 365. And I'm just going to update because I came back to adjust that same audience. Now, so I did mention before, one of the tricky things about this is that these audiences don't auto update when you add new content. Let's say you post a video, a story, a reel on Instagram. Let's say you all upload a video to use in an ad. Those will not automatically get updated to these audiences. So this applies to those more dynamic audiences like the leads, events, and videos. So I just want to quickly show you how to update those audiences again at a later date after you've created them. To update the audiences that you had created, let's say we've got video views. All you have to do is come back to this list, find the audience that you want to do. In this case, it's video views. You would click it. This little side window would open. There's a little button here that says edit. Click that. Then you can go back in. You can select or deselect. Let's say I wanted to add this, or I wanted to remove this one. And then you would just click confirm and then click update audience. It's that easy. So while it is kind of a pain in the butt that you have to come back in and update these audience groups, this at least makes that process, it is a little annoying, but it's easy to do. The last audience group that I wanted to show you. So again, just to recap, we've gone through website visitors, we've gone through customer list, Instagram account, Facebook page, events, we've done videos, shopping, augmented reality. These aren't really going to apply to you. Instant experience. You may or may not use this, but you can, the more important ones are the other ones. And then lead form is another one that I wanted to show you. So lead forms are another audience group that I wanted to talk to you about. One of the most effective Facebook ad campaigns that I create for my clients is called a lead form ad. And these are ads where with Facebook or Instagram, instead of driving people to a website that has a landing page with a form, these types of ads have the form embedded within the actual ad. So people don't have to leave Facebook to submit their information. They stay right in the ad. It's a more seamless process. And I've tested, and I would recommend you test both these lead form style ads as well as traffic ads going to a landing page for your listing. I'm not covering how to set up these ads in this video. I have created another video all about the exact steps and process you need to take for successful lead form ads. And this is a really good video. I've had a lot of views and a lot of comments. It shows you the exact settings to make for these ads so that you're spending less, you're getting your ads in the right placements, and you're going to get the most leads that you can that are also quality leads. So click up here, check this video out. Again, it's going to show you everything you need to know about lead form ads. But let's go back to screen sharing mode. I'm just going to show you how to create this audience Very similar process to what we did with the video views and selecting the videos. I just want to show you how it all works. So let's go back to screen sharing mode right now. So we select the lead form type, click next. And again, just make sure that you are on the correct page if you're managing more than one. So another thing I wanted to bring your attention to is this, again, this drop down for events. You've got a few options here. You can create an audience of anyone who has opened the form. That means in this type, it's a lead form ad. So anyone who has clicked on the ad and then also opened the form, whether or not they submitted or not. So this is just, they've opened it, okay? You could get more specific. So you could say, I want to create an audience of people who opened it but didn't submit the form. So this you could do more as, you could use an audience like this, which is again a smaller audience, as more as a retargeting. You could create an ad that, let's say, says last chance to get information about this listing or something like that, which gives that urgency, because it's almost like someone who's shopping online. You know that they've gone to look at a product, you know, maybe they added it to cart, but they didn't check out. It's that same kind of thing. They were so close, they were there, but they weren't there. So if you wanted to, you could create an audience like that. And again, you could also create an audience of people who opened it and submitted the form. Now you might be asking, well, why would I want to create these other types of audiences with, as an example, someone who, you know, opened the form but didn't submit, or someone who opened and submitted? Why am I creating that secondary audience? So this is a really good way to exclude certain people when you're going through the ad campaign setup. And I'll show you how to do that next. So stay tuned, because we're going to get to that right after we finish this segment. So if you're running your ad campaign and you want to make sure that you're showing the ad to people who have not already submitted, if they've already submitted the form, there's no need for them to see that ad again. It's like wasting money on those impressions, right? So this way, what you could do is, if you wanted to, create the ad campaign and exclude certain people. That way, you know you're reaching a fresh audience. This is something I do sometimes. I don't always do it, but these are more of those advanced features when you're creating ad campaigns on how to either get into a really focused audience or how to reach certain people based on an action they've taken. So you could either focus only on the people who, let's say, opened the form but didn't submit, and do a specialized ad to that audience. They'll be really small, but you can do that. Or you can exclude people in a way, depending on how you're structuring your ad campaign. For this example, we're going to select everybody, and then you select the forms. Just like I mentioned with everything else, you have to select the specific form. So in the example that I spoke about, where I show a demo of how to create the lead form ads, I actually created this. So again, any of those forms that you have created, you want to select them. This is really old. I don't even remember what this one's from, but I know that this is a property. It was a dummy ad that I created. And again, you set your retention. Sometimes with this, I might do maximum, but again, with these property listings, they're sometimes on the market for a long time. Sometimes they're on for a short time. So you may want to adjust this to, let's say, 30 days or 60 days, or you may want to go with the full 90 days. Either way, you can include that. And again, just name your audience, lead, and just create that audience. And that's it. It is that simple to set up all of those audience groups. But now what I want to show you is, how do you use these audiences when you're setting up your ad campaign? So let's jump back into screen sharing mode. I'm going to show you a demo as I create an ad campaign. We're not going to go through the whole thing, but I'm just going to show you the the campaign level and the ad set level and what specific settings I go with, and we'll finish off the video there. So let's jump back over to screen sharing mode. So now let's jump back into the campaigns. I'm going to show you quickly how to just set up one of these campaigns. And you can see I've got a test here, but we'll just go through it again. And in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run through a quick one here. So we'll just click traffic. And again, you would name your campaign. So always add a campaign name so you know when your ad is from. And again, because this is real estate, we need to select that special interest category. Make sure that the country is set up correctly. I'm located in Toronto, so I'm in Canada. If you're in the States, you would select the States. And then the rest of this stuff, I usually do not change at all. There's no need to adjust this stuff unless you're going with that. I don't like Advantage campaign budget. With this type of campaign, we don't need to worry about that stuff. The rest of the setup here is fine. So we're now going to go to, this is the ad set level. In this case, we want the conversions to happen on the website. I have several other videos regarding how to set up different Facebook ad campaigns. So if you are interested in that, go check out some of the playlists that I have. I will also put the links in the description. I'm just quickly going to run through this because we want to show you some of those details. Now there are drop downs here. So you could say, you know what, I want to focus on maximum number of landing page views or maximum number of clicks. Most of the time for real estate, I will do this. If I just want to get clicks to that landing page, I will sometimes test both of them. So it's really just an adjustment in how the algorithm is going to work in terms of targeting, whether it's going to try to get people who are going to go to what they know as a landing page and take some sort of an action, or whether it's just people who are more likely to click on a link in an ad. And then down here, you can set your budget. I usually always put an end date for any campaign that I create. We're just going to throw out a number here. And then we're in the audience section. Now, typically, this is where most of the time, because we're in that special interest category of housing, you can't adjust age. If I try to, you see these are all grayed out. That's because with the special interest category, it's not letting you choose male or female or adjust age, but you can choose the area. So if I was just locating on targeting my local area, I would be selecting Toronto, and then you can change the distance. So if I wanted to go, let's say 30 miles, you'll see that that goes for a much bigger area. So as a default, I mean, this is commonly what I would set up, is just targeting a wide audience of people for my real estate ads, and that's it. But we can go a little bit further, and that's where these audiences come in. If I wanted to focus on these other things that I did, let's say I wanted to focus on people who have followed my Facebook page or interacted. I also want those Instagram users. Now you're going to see the audience on the side here. It might show you a preview that it's small, and that's because we're limiting that audience. What we're doing is we're basically saying we want everybody that's in this area, along with people who have interacted with my Facebook page, people who have engaged with my Instagram account. We can add more of these now. Video views, we can add website visitors, we can add those lead forms. So this is how you kind of layer those audiences on top for your campaign. Now I could do the exact same thing by excluding people. So let's say that I want to exclude people who have submitted a lead form, or I want to exclude people that already interact with me on Facebook and Instagram to ensure that I'm reaching a cold audience, a new audience, people who don't know who I am. Well, that's how you can, exclude people like my website visitors. If I go in, instead of having all that stuff up here, you'll see how it's automatically taken it out because you can't hit both. But if I want to now exclude those people, that's where these audiences can come into play. And again, we talked about how, if I set up a lead form and I select those audience groups as somebody who I want to target or exclude the people who have submitted the form, that's how I could do it here. I could select the audience of people who have created a lead form and then have them as the excluded audience. And that way, again, it's a very small number in this case, but that's how I am able to remove them from seeing my ads. Same thing if I have a customer list and I don't, for this reason, I don't want to advertise to the people that are already clients of mine. I could upload my client list in Facebook, assuming that there's accounts that match with a phone number or an email address. Facebook would find it, and then we can exclude that audience. So that's how you use these special audiences that we create, and we can either include or exclude them when we are setting up our advertising campaigns. So I hope you found this video very helpful. Again, what we went over was how to create some of these audience groups that you can use when you're creating your Facebook ad campaigns and use them either to target those people or exclude those people in your campaigns. Sometimes you have to be creative with your advertising in order to make sure you're hitting the right people at the right time, in order to make sure you're not overspending in your ad campaigns. Sometimes I use these little techniques so that they improve the results that I could be getting from my ads. So try these strategies, let me know how they work out for you. And again, the two things I wanted to remind you about are, one, the campaign, the video I created showing you how to create the best real estate lead form ads so that you can collect leads from your ads and not overspend and get good quality targeted leads. Click the link up here again to watch it, or find the link in the description. That'll help you out. And one other reminder, if you are looking to learn all of my favorite techniques about Facebook advertising for real estate, follow the link in the description below. I'm creating a course showing you everything that you need to know about setting up Facebook ads for specific types of Facebook campaigns. We're talking about video views. We're going to cover lead form ads, the best traffic ads, and I go through all of the settings that I use, all of the little techniques of where to target your audience, which placements, what is the best ad copy, what are the best captions, the creative to use, all of that kind of stuff. So definitely check that out, register for the course. It's going to help you so much. It's going to save you time so that you don't do the wrong things, and it's going to, in the end, save you money. So check that out. Once again, my name is Lowell Brown from Going Social, where we take the complicated out of social media and digital marketing, make things a little bit easier for you. Now I've got more great videos I want you to check out. So just check out some of the links that are going to pop up here, and I'll see you in the next video.